win this militarily.
And then one more from me on this. The Secretary in the interview with Ignatius talks about Plan B. And according to Ignatius, he wouldn't go into what militarily that might entail. But is the administration now considering a Plan B that would entail greater U.S. either military support for the opposition or military action by U.S. forces itself if diplomacy fails this week?
So all of you in this room and all of you who travel with the Secretary clearly know what Plan A is, which is the ISSG, this political transition, this political process, and the talks in Geneva, and eventually a transition to a new government. We believe that cannot include Assad, that can then transition and focus on destroying and defeating Daesh. That said, there are other options that we're always looking at. I'm not going to talk to them today. I'm not going to speak to what they may entail. But of course, we're always looking at different options on how to approach this, given the extraordinary challenges and the extraordinary humanitarian catastrophe that's taking place inside Syria.
Very last one for me on this. Yeah. Even your friends, last one I promise, even your friends, Fabrice, for example, today said that the Secretary is willing to go, that the President is not willing to go as far as the Secretary might be in terms of other options. So how do you address critics who would say, yes, there are always options, and you've looked at other options, and for 5 years you haven't exercised them, and the one time you said you were going to, bomb, you didn't. So how do you make credible the consideration of other options when you have pretty much chosen not to exercise non-diplomatic options for a long time now?
Well, again, the Secretary is focused on the diplomatic options, and he obviously, in his role as Secretary of State, provides counsel, advice to the President. This is obviously a whole of government and an interagency, and frankly, an international effort to end the fighting in Syria. Right now, our focus is on this process that we have in place. That's where we're putting all of our resources and all of our efforts into moving that forward. Yeah, please, Michelle.
About Plan A, but we didn't hear anything from you about Plan B.
I said I'm not going to talk about any options beyond what's in front of us, which is the ISSG, the group of stakeholders that have agreed to and cemented what we've agreed to in UN Security Council Resolution 2254, and then also the talks between parties in Geneva.